Welcome to day number 8 on your Balance, Build and Bloom plan. Today we are building a strong core in 20 minutes. So this 21-day program is designed to build your body strength and confidence, but not just physically, mentally as well. And we will also include a nutrition element at the end of every single session. So today we're beginning week number 2 and we're going to be working our core. Now I'm going to be working down onto the mat for the majority of this session. However, if that does not suit you for any reason, I have got variations and adaptations all the way through. So please do look out for those in the top of the screen. You'll see what you can do instead of coming down to the mat. So if you're ready and you're ready to build up that core, let's get going. So we're going to start with our warm-up for today. We're going to get the abs all nice and warmed up from a standing position. So you're going to bring the leg back and the arms up, tap, tap. So just really working out here if your abs are switched on, really holding into the core, getting some movement in every time the toe taps back and the arms sweep up, really holding into those abdominal muscles so you can feel them as the arms come up and the leg comes back, stretching through. Head stays nice and neutral. Good. So just pre-warning your body and your brain that you're about to start exercising. Okay, so you might suddenly feel a little out of breath as the muscles just demand a little more oxygen. Good. Well done. We're just going to do some torso twists as well, just to work in that little twisting movement here. We don't want to snag anything. So just put over to the side. Over to the side. Let your hips come with you at first. So over to the side. Okay, not overly tensing anything here as you're just working through. Well done. And now try and keep those hips fixed. So feel the difference as you're keeping the hips a little more fixed. The range of movement is less now. And working into those muscles a little bit more intensely. 2, 1. Okay, we're going to head down to the mat, so join me there. Okay, so our first exercise down onto the mat. If you can lie down, then you can do this exercise. There are a couple of different options for you. So lying down onto the mat, push your back nice and firmly into the mat. Bring the knees up, so they're bent, feet up and fingertips facing the ceiling. This is your starting position. You're going to draw back one arm and the opposite leg, coming back into center. Draw them out on the other side and back into center. Now, if you find that really tough, then you can keep the knee bent and just pop the heel down. And you can do that with just the legs or just the arms, whatever feels about right for your level. This is a tricky one on the coordination. We are going to run through this one twice just to wake everything up, keeping that back push into the floor. Well done. And take a rest. Good job. We are going to do that twice just so we don't have to keep getting up and down, because the next one is up into an all fours position. So we're going to go again in just a few moments. Fingertips up to the ceiling, knees bent, feet off the floor. Let's go. So 40 seconds here. Nice and slow and controlled. Well done. So trying to keep the fingertips that aren't working on the arm that isn't working and the leg that's not working, trying to keep those really nice and still and straight as you're working through here. There is a tendency sometimes for that arm to want to come down and follow the leg. If you can keep your fingertips up, then that shows some really good body awareness, control, coordination. Well done. So just adapt to the level that works for you and take a rest. Well done. We're up onto an all fours position next. And of course, if you are not happy to work into this position, I do have a variation for you. So you'll be able to see that on the screen. We're going to do a bird dog or a Superman. So all fours position here, we're going to reach out the opposite arm and leg and then bring back into center. So join in when you're ready, out and then into center. All the time, trying to keep your hips and your back nice and stable. keeping your head in the same position, so I'm not looking all the way up. I'm not looking down at my knees. Trying to keep a nice long neck. So stepping it out and coming back in. So here we're challenging the core because we're going from a stable surface to an unstable surface, and the core loves that for a bit of challenge. It's really similar to that first exercise that we just did. Take a little rest, but obviously into an all fours position, a little bit more difficult. We are now going to go into a forearm plank, okay? If you prefer to do a high plank or a bridge, then you absolutely can. I'm going to show you two options here, and you do have the variation on the screen. So here's your first option, a full forearm plank, and your second option is modified. So start when you're ready, modified plank here, onto your knees, or the full forearm plank, and we're just going to hold this. Okay, so this is a different kind of movement again, so we're really getting into that core, looking at stability, nice and strong. Now you might want to do 10 seconds in the full plank, drop down for 10 seconds in the modified, back up for another 10. Totally up to you. You've got 40 seconds here, so you know what time you have to play with. Well done. 3, 2, 1, take a rest. Amazing work. Okay, we're going to go back into our Superman or bird dog next. We're going to do that one more time, and then we're going to do the forearm plank one more time as well. So you know what's coming up. Keep those fingertips facing forwards in this bird dog position. Back nice and straight. 2, 1, let's go. So out, back in. Really thinking about nice, precise movements here. So your hand is coming back to exactly where you want it to be. The knee is exactly where you want it to be. Okay, so we're not rushing through. This is not a cardio session. We're not just bashing out some big full body movements here. We're really thinking about precision and control. And just breathing all the time. Pulling that tummy button up through your back, but not sucking in your belly, that we're not sucking anything in. 2, 1, take a rest, well done. You got 20 seconds rest, and then you're going to do your plank again. But as I said, if you want to go into that full bridge position or a high plank, then you can do that. Absolutely. This is your workout, so you absolutely have license to do it however you want to do it. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So just breathe it through. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And while you're doing this, just remember why you started today. This might be the first exercise program that you've ever done of mine. This might be the first session you've ever done, in which case there are 7 ones before this one. This is week 2. So starting your week 2 off with a real bang here. Well done. Drop to your knees at any time if you feel you need to. If you get the shakes, don't worry, that's really normal. And take a rest. Well done. Amazing work. We're going to come onto your bottom now. We're going to do a seated twist. And again, I've got an option for you. If you are not down onto the mat, you can do this from a chair, and you'll be able to see that up on the top of the screen. Sitting back, feet off the floor, twist, twist. Hands down to the side. Now you can have the heels down to the ground to make this a little bit more achievable. If you find that a little bit too hard, you can have one heel up and then the other heel up. So you're alternating here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Heels off. Okay, and if you want to make it a little harder, you can pedal those legs out. So each time I'm turning the head the same way that my hands are going, but I'm not looking down at my fingertips because I don't want to bring my chin down to my chest here. Well done. 2, 1, take a rest. Amazing work. Scoot yourself forwards a little bit, lying down onto your back. If you are on the chair already for your seated twist, you can do the next exercise, this one from the chair as well, so you don't need to be getting up and down. We're going to be doing some toe taps, so bring yourself up into a tabletop position here, knees bent, feet flexed, and you're going to tap, tap, tap. Now, you can make this a little easier for yourself by bringing those toe taps closer to your bottom. you can make them a little harder by bringing those legs away. Okay, so the further you extend out, the longer you make those levers, the harder you're making your abdominal muscles work. The closer, they're not working so hard, but it is all relative to you. Okay, so you might find it really, really easy here. Okay, you might be fully stretched out here, or you might find this really tricky, in which case that's your level. Take a rest. Well done. Amazing work. Back onto your front before we go back round again, and we're going to go back into your plank position, but this time we're going to make it a little more tricky. We're going to do a leg lift as well. So you can only do this in a full plank. So if you find a full plank really tricky and you usually do it on your knees, then you need to be on a raised surface. So from your plank position, raise up the leg and then raise the other leg. So you're just pushing that heel up. Lead with the heel. So if you are finding this tricky, you have a chair, sofa, coffee table, something stable, and then you get yourself there. You can also do it from a bridge position here. Okay, so if you find that plank position just too much, well done, almost there. 2, 1, take a rest. Well done. We're going to cycle back round into that seated twist. So we only have 20 minutes together today. All of these sessions in this plan are around 20 minutes. I wanted to make them really suitable to fit into your day as and when. Ready to go? Let's go. So I really wanted to make them easy to fit in, but so that you know you got a really good workout. So inside of 30 minutes, each of these sessions you'll be able to have a little warm up, the session, a little cool down, and then that nutrition tip at the end of every of our sessions. And today we're going to be talking about sugar and salt. What they are, why we need them, why we don't need too much of them. So stick around for that one. It's quite interesting. 3, 2, 1, take a rest. Well done. Let's get ourselves back for that lying toe taps or seated toe taps if that's what you're doing. You've got 10 seconds. So bring those knees up, get yourself ready, push the back into your floor if you need to have a little move around, adjust those hips. Let's go. Tap, tap, tap. Now don't forget to comment and say hi. Let me know that you're doing these workouts. It's really great when I know that you're doing them. It means I can cheerlead you on. You can ask me any questions that you have. It's always me replying. I may not be able to reply on the same day that you post the comment. Okay, but I will absolutely see that comment and do my very best to get back to you as soon as I can. Because you're one of the team and I appreciate you. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, 1, take a rest. Here we go again, back into that plank or high plank, the bridge with the leg lift, okay? So just take a second. 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now what we're not doing here is lifting up, okay? We're not lifting up and bringing the head. We're trying to keep the back nice and straight, chest parallel to the floor each time, and just working through into the glutes, lifting up through the hip. Well done. And remember, if you need to or want to, you can go into the higher position. Fingertips facing forwards though. Well done. Keep the core strong and straight. Take a rest. Really well done. We've got one small section left to go in this workout. Our next exercise is down onto the mat. It's some bicycle crunches. If you find these really, really tough, I do have a standing variation for you. So if you've been working from your chair, then you can do that. Otherwise, fingertips onto temples, knees up, elbows on the floor, opposite elbow to knee. Off we go. Good. Breathe it through. Now, if you find it tricky extending the leg out, you can do this when you're just moving the upper body. I'm trying to keep one elbow onto the floor at all times though. Just keeping that chest nice and open. And I have the fingertips to temples. I don't have my hands behind my head. Take a rest. Well done. Back round onto your front into a bridge position. Again, you can use your chair or raised surface for this if you want to. We're going to do some toe taps. So this time we are going to be swinging back and pushing your bottom up into the air. This time into your bridge position, you're going to touch your opposite foot with your fingertips. Ready? Let's go. Now you do not have to touch. It's good if you can, but you don't have to. Even better if you can get your heels down, but you'll notice that I can't. That is the curse of being a runner. Tight hamstrings always. And that might be the case with you as well. It's okay if you can't do everything all of the time. That's all right. Do what you can. And then work on the things that you find hard. Good. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Take a rest. Amazing. Next exercise, we're going to come onto your side. Again, I do have a variation for you. The variation I've done as a side bridge rather than a side plank, but you can make your own decision about what you want to do there. Here, we're going to have yourself into your side plank position, and you're going to raise the leg up and down. So I've got my bottom leg bent. My foot is facing the back wall. Okay. My hips off the floor, leg comes up and down. Now you just might find it hard enough to get yourself up into that position, hold, and come back down. That's absolutely fine. This is a really tricky position, this side plank position. Okay. So here you are. If you want to do the full exercise, but if you can't, that's fine. And if you want to make it really tricky, then you can come into a full side plank position and bring that leg up. Take a rest. We're going to switch sides. We are going to go through this again, so you do have a little bit more time if you want to master this one. But again, you do have the option to do it from a raised surface, because that is a little bit more achievable if you find this hard. Ready? Up we go. Raise, raise. So we're working into the sides of your abs here, working through that waistline, lifting through the core. That leg's lifting. Obviously, we're using the muscles in the thighs here to get that leg lifted up, but we're also using our core muscles, everything attached to the hips here to help with stability, keeping you in that fixed position. Well done. Good job. Just work with your own range of movement here. 3, 2, 1. Take a rest. We're going to go back to those bicycle crunches. Again, if you want to do the standing version, if these ones, and they are quite intense. So if you want to do the standing version instead, it's absolutely your choice. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And you can take as much time as you need to. These are not about racing ahead. These are about putting your abs under as much tension as possible for as long as possible. Okay, training them through. So you can take a little rest if you need to. You've got the countdown timer. You can see how long's left. Not long. Keep it going. Well done. 3, 2, 1. Lovely work. Going to go back in for those toe taps. I really like this exercise. I feel like it's such a great stretch. Really good to do towards the end of the program as well. You allow that movement through the hips, whereas before you're trying to keep them static all the time. It's really tough. Ready? Let's go. Through. Or you want to make sure that you're not swinging and dipping the hips into this one. So you're pushing through, you're coming back into that neutral position, and then you're going back again. It's that little hold, demonstrates control. Push on through, hold, and control. And of course, you're going to feel it by now that whilst we're working on the core, this is quite arm heavy. This exercise, obviously, we're working into the legs as well, because we can't just totally isolate. Take a rest. Well done. Can't just totally isolate one area of the body. You can do that on some machines at the gym, and that's what they're really good for, isolating body parts. But here we work about functional fitness, so fitness that's going to help you in your day-to-day. Ready to do this side plank with me? Let's go. Up and down then. Up and down. So I've just got my hand on my hip, but you can put your fingertips to temples here. You can have your arms straight. Okay, so that makes a really nice shape. But as long as you're keeping those hips up, so you're not gradually coming down here and then you're ending up here. Okay, so just keep those hips up throughout this exercise. We're doing so well. Good job, almost there. And we've just got the other side, and then you've got a tiny little stretchy cool down to do. Take a rest, well done. Okay, through to the other side. So if you're not sure how to find that position, both legs straight, bottom leg bent, foot facing the back wall. 3, 2, 1, pick up the hips and go with the leg raise. Well done. And again, trying to keep the head nice and neutral. So think about keeping your ears in line with your shoulders. So I'm not hanging my head down here. Apart from anything else, that makes me feel dizzy. I don't like to do that. So keeping your head nice and neutral, keeping the chin away from the chest. I don't need to look at my leg to know what it's doing. Okay, if you feel that it does help to see what you're doing, set yourself up near a mirror. You can even record yourself. Okay, you can just have a look, check your form, make sure that you're doing what you think you're doing, and take a rest. Amazing work. Really, really well done on doing that session with me today. We are going to do a little windshield wiper to finish off today. So lying onto your mat, arms out, stretched out, knees come up, and you're just going to let those knees fall down to the side, and you're going to look at the opposite hand. Stretching through the midsection of your back, coming back up, and then over, hold, back up. Let's do one more on each side. You might feel a few cracks and creaks. Do you feel that release? Up and over. And up. Well done. We're going to finish off with a kneeling side stretch. You do not have to do this from kneeling. If kneeling is difficult for you, you can do this onto your feet instead. Okay, so from your feet, you're just going to work on the top half with standing onto the floor. If you're into a kneeling position like this, bring one leg out to the side, arm comes over, and we're going to stretch. Imagine that you have a piece of string from your fingers to your toes. Shorten that piece of string, feel the stretch. Well done, making that beautiful arc position. And hold and breathe. Back up to the center. Switching sides. And over. Again, thinking about that nice shape. Hold and breathe. So we're holding the position, not holding your breath. So please do make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, that you've liked, that you're gonna write a comment, let me know how you're getting on. Share this session as well, but stick around because now we are going to talk about sugar and salt and the awareness of where it is in your diet and the kind of things it's going to be in and how much you need. So join me for that right now. On day 8 of our wellness journey, we're exploring salt and sugar awareness, and I'm providing some practical tips for a healthier diet. So let's start with salt. The UK government recommends that adults should consume no more than 6 grams of salt per day, which is around about a teaspoon. However, the average salt intake in the UK is much higher, with processed and packaging foods being major contributors. Salt is an essential ingredient for muscle and nerve health, but we only need it in really tiny amounts. Too much salt can lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, and strokes. But by reading food labels and choosing lower sodium options, you can take control of your salt intake and protect your heart health. You can do things like flavoring meals with herbs and spices instead of salt, and that can add extra taste without the extra sodium. Garlic is a particularly good option as it provides natural seasoning, and it is also great for your cardiovascular health, which lowers blood pressure and also cholesterol. Now onto sugar. Our bodies need sugar as the main source of fuel for energy, and the brain uses glucose as its fuel, so sugar is an essential part of our diets. Sugar is a carbohydrate, and as well as being the refined white stuff that we're used to seeing, it can be found in vegetables and fruit as well as in grains. The UK government recommends that adults should limit their daily intake of free sugars to no more than 30 grams. This is roughly the equivalent of 7 sugar cubes. Free sugars are the ones that are added to foods and drinks, as well as sugars that are naturally in honey, syrups, and unsweetened fruit juices. Being mindful of hidden sugars in processed foods and opting for whole unprocessed foods can really help reduce your sugar consumption and support your overall health. Making switches to low sugar, unprocessed options can be really hard, but with practice and small changes, you can really reap the rewards quickly. By becoming more aware of our salt and sugar intake and making informed choices, we can take really positive steps towards a healthier lifestyle. Be sure to subscribe and share this video, and I'll see you tomorrow for another 20-minute workout. This time we're focusing on our upper body, and our nutrition tip will be all about fiber.